already proving with archaeological evidence that everything that was written about this temple was wrong. And we are trying to find out what it did us.
For centuries, the legendary Queen Cleopatra has fascinated historians, archaeologists, and treasure hunters alike. A ruler, a lover, a strategist. Her story is woven of romance, power, and mystery. But one question has remained unanswered for over 2,000 years. Where is Cleopatra's final resting place? Recent discoveries have reignited the search for her lost tomb, and what they've found inside is nothing short of a miracle. Could this be the greatest archaeological breakthrough of our time? Join us as we uncover the mysteries of Cleopatra's tomb and explore the surprising clues hidden beneath the Egyptian sands. Ancient Egypt was one of the most advanced civilizations in history, revered for its fascinating and unique characteristics. Let's dive into this fascinating past and uncover the truth behind one of history's most fascinating personalities. The legacy of great civilizations. Ancient Egypt stood out from many other civilizations of its time, making remarkable advancements in many areas, from well-organized social structures to awe-inspiring architecture and engineering feats that still leave us wondering how they achieved such sophistication. Similarly, the Macedonian Empire, at its peak, was second to none in terms of sophistication. Cleopatra surpassed the kingdoms of Ptolemy, left behind legacies of power, and laid the foundations for many of the systems still in use today. Both empires were stunning examples of excellence, producing brilliant minds in the arts, literature, politics, and leadership. One of these extraordinary personalities was Cleopatra, the legendary Queen of Kings. She was the product of two of history's most influential civilizations, inheriting the best of both worlds. With a powerful lineage such as hers, she embodied the qualities that set her apart from others: breathtaking beauty, a sharp intellect that could humble even the wisest, strategic foresight that outmaneuvered her rivals, and an undeniable charisma in matters of love. In many ways, Cleopatra was like a goddess, born of two legacies of greatness. However, she lived during a period of political turmoil during her father's reign. Cleopatra, of Greek descent, was the daughter of Ptolemy XII, ruler of Egypt's Ptolemaic dynasty, a dynasty that lasted nearly 3 centuries. But by the time of her birth, the dynasty was in crisis. The growing power of the Roman Empire loomed over Egypt, disguised as an ally but slowly eroding its wealth and influence. This emerging threat put tremendous pressure on Egypt's economy, setting the stage for the turbulent events that shaped Cleopatra's fate. The rise of Cleopatra King Ptolemy XII found himself in a difficult position, stuck between satisfying the demands of the powerful Roman Empire and appeasing the frustrated Egyptian elite. This political tension eventually led to his temporary exile from Alexandria. However, it was not long before he was reinstated as the rightful ruler. These turbulent events began a series of unexpected twists and turns that shaped the life, loves, and legendary story of Cleopatra VII. Who was Cleopatra? Many tales have been woven about Cleopatra, often exaggerating certain aspects of her character. One of the most well-known stories portrays her as a master of seduction, using her charm and cunning to bend even the most powerful men to her will. This so-called serpentine power is said to have played a role in breaking alliances within the mighty Roman Empire. While these accounts are not entirely false, they have been sensationalized over time to fit various narratives. But who was Cleopatra really? Before we continue, it's crucial to understand that, like many historical figures who craved power, Cleopatra was far more than just a temptress who relied on her looks to manipulate men. However, she was no saint either. She was a shrewd strategist who sometimes resorted to extreme measures to achieve her goals. A highly intelligent and multilingual ruler, Cleopatra wasn't just a figurehead. She actively asserted her authority over Egypt and other regions. While she was often described as beautiful, her appeal wasn't merely about physical looks. In fact, historical records suggest her beauty wasn't so extraordinary that it left every man spellbound. Instead, what truly set her apart was her captivating personality, her ability to engage in conversation, and the commanding way she carried herself in every interaction. Born in 69 BC during a period of political instability, Cleopatra was raised in a dynasty on the brink of collapse. She ruled alongside her father after his reinstatement, getting her first taste of power at a young age. However, by this time, the Ptolemaic dynasty was a shadow of its former glory, reduced to little more than a Roman vassal state. Despite this decline, Cleopatra was determined to claim her rightful place and hold on to power at all costs. Cleopatra's fight for the throne. At just 17 years old, Cleopatra staked her claim to the throne following the death of her father. However, despite Ptolemy XII's will explicitly stating that his eldest son, Ptolemy XIII, and his daughter, Cleopatra VII, were to rule Egypt together as husband and wife, this arrangement was met with resistance. Ptolemy XIII saw his sister not as a co-ruler, but as a threat to his power. This rivalry quickly escalated, putting Cleopatra's life in danger and forcing her to flee Egypt. Seeking refuge in Pelusium, she waited for an opportunity to reclaim what she believed was rightfully hers. Meanwhile, across the Mediterranean, the powerful Roman general Julius Caesar was pursuing his defeated rival, Pompey. After losing the civil war against Caesar, Pompey fled to Egypt, hoping to find sanctuary in Ptolemy XIII's court. However, in a bid to win Caesar's favor and eliminate any potential political complications, Ptolemy XIII ordered Pompey's execution and presented his severed head to Caesar. Rather than earning Caesar's gratitude, this act horrified him. Many historians believe that this moment led Caesar to question Ptolemy XIII's leadership. Egypt was a crucial grain supplier for Rome, and ensuring stability in the region was in the empire's best interest. Determined to settle the growing political unrest, Caesar decided to intervene before returning to Rome. Sensing the danger Cleopatra posed to his rule, Ptolemy XIII took extreme measures, blocking every possible route she could use to reach Caesar. He then seized the opportunity to present his case, arguing that he was the rightful ruler of Egypt. However, Cleopatra was not one to be outmaneuvered. In a daring move, she secretly entered the palace under the cover of night. There are various accounts of how she accomplished this feat, but one of the most famous suggests that she had herself wrapped in a carpet and smuggled into Caesar's private chambers. Once face-to-face with the Roman leader, Cleopatra used her intelligence, wit, and undeniable charm to captivate him. It wasn't long before she had secured his attention and, ultimately, his support. Cleopatra's rise to power. With Caesar's support, Cleopatra finally achieved what she had long desired: the throne of Egypt and the seat of the Ptolemaic dynasty. Standing firmly by her side, Caesar ensured that she was reinstated as co-ruler alongside Ptolemy XIII, as stated in their father's will. However, this uneasy power balance was short-lived. Ptolemy XIII died while attempting to suppress a rebellion, leaving the throne vacant. Seizing the opportunity to secure her fragile position as Egypt's sole ruler, Cleopatra took no chances. She systematically eliminated all potential rivals, including two of her own siblings. In doing so, she positioned her son with Caesar, Caesarion, as her co-ruler. But Cleopatra's reign faced another major upheaval. The assassination of Julius Caesar on the Ides of March sent shockwaves through the Roman Empire, plunging it into chaos. Anarchy threatened to take hold, but the combined forces of Octavian and Mark Antony managed to suppress the conspirators who orchestrated Caesar's murder. As stability returned, the empire was divided. Octavian took control of the West, while Mark Antony ruled over the Eastern Roman territories. In his new position of power, Antony summoned Cleopatra to his palace, questioning her loyalty to Rome and her failure to send military support during the war. Ever the strategist, Cleopatra skillfully explained that she had indeed deployed troops, but they had arrived too late to make a difference. A legendary love affair. Their meeting left a lasting impression on Antony. Despite being married to Octavian's sister Octavia, he found himself captivated by Cleopatra's wit, charm, and presence. This fateful encounter marked the beginning of a love story that would be immortalized in art, literature, and history. As their bond deepened, Cleopatra bore Antony 3 children, further solidifying their political and personal alliance. Now the mother of Caesar's son, the lover of one of Rome's most powerful generals, and the reigning pharaoh of Egypt, Cleopatra had secured immense influence. She was a woman who could shape the fate of nations. And with Antony at her side, she had the power to bend the world to her will. The fall of Antony and Cleopatra Mark Antony was utterly captivated by Cleopatra, so much so that he seemed to follow her every command. His deep infatuation with the Egyptian queen did not go unnoticed, and it soon began to spark resentment. Octavian, displeased with Antony's behavior, especially his neglect of his wife, Octavian's sister, found his once strong alliance with Antony rapidly deteriorating. As Antony's devotion to Cleopatra grew, his ties with Rome weakened, and the political rift widened. The Roman Senate, fueled by Octavian's influence, declared war on Antony and Cleopatra without justifiable cause. Their fate was sealed at the Battle of Actium, a decisive confrontation that not only cemented Octavian's rise as Rome's sole ruler, but also marked Antony as a traitor. Facing devastating losses, Antony and Cleopatra fled the battlefield, their dreams of power slipping through their fingers. According to ancient historians such as Strabo, Plutarch, and Cassius Dio, Antony, believing Cleopatra had taken her own life, fell into despair and stabbed himself multiple times. As he lay dying, he was carried to Cleopatra, who mourned over his lifeless body, calling him her master and husband. In her grief, she smeared his blood on her face, a final tribute to their love and shared tragedy. Dressed in her royal robes, Cleopatra attempted suicide several times before finally succeeding. In what became one of history's most famous deaths, she allowed a venomous asp to bite her, slipping into eternal rest. Her physician Olympus documented the events, making this version the most widely accepted account of her death. The mystery of Cleopatra's tomb. Cleopatra's story is one of passion, ambition, and political brilliance, far removed from the exaggerated myths that have often overshadowed her true legacy. But even in death, she remains an enigma. Historical accounts suggest that Cleopatra and Antony were buried together, making the search for her tomb even more compelling. For centuries, archaeologists and historians have debated its exact location. Many believe her final resting place lies in Alexandria, her birthplace. However, the city has suffered from earthquakes and rising sea levels over time, submerging much of it beneath the Mediterranean, making the search incredibly difficult. Yet recent discoveries have reignited hope that the lost tomb of Egypt's most famous queen may finally be found. The ongoing search for Cleopatra's tomb. Recent efforts to locate Cleopatra's final resting place have shifted focus to a desert temple near Alexandria. Some researchers believe that the queen, known for her strategic thinking, may have chosen to be buried in a site of greater spiritual significance rather than in the heart of Alexandria. This theory suggests that she may have deliberately arranged for her mummified remains to rest undisturbed in a sacred location, possibly alongside her beloved Mark Antony. The first major expedition to search for Cleopatra's tomb began in 1992, when underwater archaeologist Frank Gaudio led extensive explorations of the waters around Alexandria in the early 2000s. Though his primary objective was not Cleopatra's tomb, his research contributed valuable insights into the submerged ruins of the ancient city. However, no evidence of Cleopatra's burial site was uncovered during these explorations. Despite the belief among many mainstream archaeologists that Cleopatra's tomb likely lies in an underwater burial site in Alexandria, others continue the search on land. In November 2006, the renowned Egyptologist Zahi Hawass, then Secretary General of the Supreme Council of Antiquities, announced an important archaeological site where his team had been excavating for over a year. Unlike previous efforts, which had only explored possible locations, this was the first organized search dedicated specifically to finding Egypt's last queen. Kathleen Martinez's bold theory. One of the most determined and passionate archaeologists in the search for Cleopatra is Kathleen Martinez, a former criminal lawyer turned archaeologist. Martinez, inspired by Cleopatra's legacy, has dedicated her career to uncovering the truth about her final resting place. Her journey began in 2004, when she contacted Zahi Hawass with a radical theory that Cleopatra was not buried in Alexandria as commonly believed. Instead, Martinez proposed that Cleopatra's final resting place could be the Temple of Isis at Taposiris Magna, a crumbling temple near a coastal desert town, about a 45-minute drive west of Alexandria. Drawing from historical clues, Martinez argues that Cleopatra negotiated with Octavian to ensure that Mark Antony would be buried in Egypt. This, she believes, suggests that Cleopatra may have also arranged for her own burial in a more sacred location rather than the royal tombs of Alexandria. This theory, though controversial, has sparked renewed hope in the quest to find Cleopatra's long-lost tomb, one of history's greatest mysteries. The name Taposiris Magna translates to the residence of Osiris, paying tribute to the ancient Egyptian god. Cleopatra was often associated with the goddess Isis, while her lover Mark Antony was linked to Osiris. Given this connection, it is plausible that Cleopatra may have chosen to be buried in a temple dedicated to Osiris, aiming to mirror the legend of Isis and Osiris. According to this interpretation, the Osiris cult symbolized the idea of achieving immortality after death. It was believed that the gods would grant Cleopatra and Antony eternal life in another form, allowing them to be reunited beyond the mortal realm. These insights led archaeologist Kathleen Martinez to launch excavations at Taposiris Magna, the largest known temple dedicated to Isis and Osiris near Alexandria. Using advanced technologies such as ground-penetrating radar, satellite imagery, LiDAR, and remote sensing, Martinez has made remarkable discoveries at the site. Positioned between the Mediterranean Sea and Lake Mariut, Taposiris Magna was an important port city during Cleopatra's time, renowned for its vineyards and fine wine. Since 2009, Martinez's team has unearthed a wealth of unexpected artifacts, including multiple mummies, including one with a golden tongue, statues, jewelry, coins, pottery, and other relics. One of her most exciting discoveries is a rock-cut tunnel measuring 6.5 feet in height and over 4,300 feet in length, located 43 feet underground within the temple. Martinez strongly believes that this tunnel could lead to Cleopatra's long-lost tomb, a possibility that has captured the attention of the Egyptian Ministry of Antiquities and archaeologists worldwide. The mystery of Cleopatra's burial site remains unsolved, but each discovery brings researchers one step closer to uncovering the truth about Egypt's last queen. The Egyptian Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities recently announced the discovery of a remarkable underground tunnel, calling it a geometric marvel. This tunnel bears a striking resemblance to the Tunnel of Eupalinos on the Greek island of Samos, which is regarded as one of the greatest engineering feats of antiquity. While there is growing excitement about the potential breakthrough, it is essential to approach these findings with caution. In 2020, speculation arose that two mummies discovered at Taposiris Magna might belong to Cleopatra and Mark Antony. However, further analysis by archaeologists debunked this theory, revealing that the bodies belong to individuals of lesser status in Egyptian society. The damaged condition of the remains makes it difficult to determine their exact identity. Given Cleopatra's status as a Roman captive at the time of her death, her funeral was likely a modest affair, and her tomb may reflect that simplicity. While the Taposiris Magna tunnel is undeniably significant and may lead to Cleopatra's long-lost burial site, only further excavations can confirm this theory. Though Kathleen Martinez has not yet found the tomb of Cleopatra and Mark Antony, her research holds the most promise in uncovering one of history's greatest mysteries. If discovered, Cleopatra's tomb would not only be a groundbreaking archaeological find, but could also reshape our understanding of ancient history. The discovery could challenge the Roman narratives that have shaped Cleopatra's image for centuries, revealing a truer picture of her life, leadership, and legacy. Martinez's work has captivated historians and archaeologists alike, reigniting curiosity about Cleopatra's extraordinary life, her relationships with powerful Roman figures, and the secrets hidden within her final resting place. The recent findings at Taposiris Magna have renewed hope that the mystery of Cleopatra's tomb may soon be solved. This discovery has the potential to transform our knowledge of Cleopatra, her dynasty, and the world she ruled. While the final answers remain elusive, this ongoing archaeological endeavor offers an opportunity to uncover the lost secrets of Egypt's last queen. The world eagerly awaits the next chapter in this fascinating exploration.